In a bustling African city where the old ways clashed with modern life, there lived a boy named Tao. He was known for his arrogance and disrespect, strutting through the streets as if he owned them. While Tao slept soundly each night, his grandmother would kneel by her bedside, praying for her wayward grandson to find his way. One sunny morning, Tao sauntered into the marketplace, his eyes darting from stall to stall. Spotting a pile of ripe oranges, he snatched one and took a big bite, juice dribbling down his chin. The old woman tending the stall cried out, "Thief, pay for what you've taken." But Tao just laughed, mimicking her crooked back and wrinkled face. "What are you going to do, old hag? Chase me?" he taunted, disappearing into the crowd. Later that day, Tao came upon an elderly man struggling to cross the busy road. Instead of offering help, Tao pointed and guffawed, "Look at the old goat. He'll be dead before he reaches the other side." The old man's eyes filled with hurt, but Tao paid no mind, continuing on his merry way. As night fell, Tao's mischievous spirit led him to the city mortuary. Sneaking past the sleeping guard, he crept inside, his heart racing with excitement. Surrounded by shrouded bodies, Tao couldn't resist the urge to mock once more. He danced between the tables, pulling faces and poking at the still forms. "Wake up, sleepyheads," he cackled, "or are you too lazy even for that?" Little did Tao know that his actions would have dire consequences. That night, as he lay in bed, strange whispers filled his room. Shadows danced on the walls, taking on grotesque shapes. Suddenly, an icy hand slapped his cheek, leaving him trembling in fear. Tao pulled the covers over his head, praying for morning to come. The next day, Tao sought out Baba Deji, the village elder known for his wisdom. With shaking hands, Tao recounted his terrifying night. Baba Deji listened gravely, his eyes filled with sorrow. "Tao," he said, "you have awakened the spirit of Abeni, a young bride who died before her wedding day. Your mockery of the dead has disturbed her rest, and now she seeks a husband in the land of the living." Tao's face paled as Baba Deji explained the eerie ritual that must take place. Under the light of the full moon, Tao was to dress in a groom's attire and meet Abeni at the cemetery. The boy protested, but Baba Deji was firm. "It is the only way to appease her spirit and free yourself from her haunting." That night, Tao stood trembling at the cemetery gates, dressed in his finest clothes. As the moon rose, a figure in a tattered white gown appeared among the graves. A Beni spirit glided towards him, her face a mask of sorrow and longing. With shaking hands, Tao placed a ring on her ghostly finger, completing the macabre ceremony. As dawn broke, Tao found himself kneeling before a freshly dug grave. Abeni's spirit had finally found peace, but the weight of his actions pressed heavily on Tao's heart. He whispered words of forgiveness into the earth, promising to change his ways. From that day forward, Tao was a changed boy. He helped his grandmother with her daily chores, his once mocking voice now filled with kindness. At the marketplace, he sought out the old woman he had stolen from, offering a heartfelt apology and payment for the orange. His arrogant strut became a humble walk, his eyes now open to the needs of others around him. Months passed, and Tao became known not for his cruelty, but for his compassion. Yet he never forgot the lesson he had learned. Each week he would visit Abeni's grave, laying flowers and offering prayers for her spirit. The boy who once mocked the dead had learned to respect both the living and those who had passed on. As the sun set on another day, Tao knelt before Abeni's grave, a bouquet of wildflowers in his hands. He spoke softly, sharing the good deeds he had done and the kindness he had shown. Though Abeni's spirit no longer haunted him, her memory served as a constant reminder of the consequences of his actions. In the quiet of the cemetery, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves, carrying with it a whisper that sounded almost like "thank you." Tao smiled, knowing that his transformation had not only changed his life, but had also brought peace to a restless soul. As he walked home, the stars twinkling overhead, Tao reflected on his journey. He had learned that every action, no matter how small, could have far-reaching consequences. The boy who once disrespected life and death now understood the delicate balance between the two worlds. Tao's story spread throughout the village, a cautionary tale for young and old alike. Parents would tell their children of the boy who mocked the dead and the bride he was forced to marry. But they also spoke of his redemption, of how he learned to respect all forms of life and death. And so, in that bustling African city, where the old ways still held power and the spirits of the departed walked among the living, a valuable lesson was learned. Respect for life, respect for death, and the understanding that our actions ripple through both worlds became a mantra passed down through generations. As night fell and the city settled into slumber, grandmothers no longer needed to pray for wayward grandsons. Instead, they told stories of Tao and Abeni, reminding all who would listen that in this world of the living and the dead, kindness and respect were the truest forms of wealth. And somewhere in the realm between worlds, a young bride named Abeni smiled, her restless spirit finally at peace, knowing that her story had changed a life and taught a lesson that would echo through time.